Oh man, sorry about that. Yeah, I had the sound drop on you guys. Yeah, it's just a thing with technology. I hate it. Nicholas made it. I got it. Sorry, I see everyone saying we can't hear you. I'm here. Hi. Oh, Alexa, resume. I'm assuming none of you heard that. So, the Raider Bear! Raiders! Alexa, shut your mouth. No, I'm not doing the whole thing over again. That was good. That was 10 seconds. I'm not like these other professional shows. I'm better. But I bump a microphone power button every once in a while. Sue me. No, don't actually do that, but you know what I'm saying. Oh, I'm sure you can hear me now, though. So I'm saying hi to everyone. And this is Tommy. This is all your fault. Oh, that's cold. I'm blaming a little guy. Tommy, where are you? I don't see you in the comments, even though you can't hear me. Jim Garrison, what's up? Welcome to the show. Joe McMillan, I see you there. Tony, make it dip. Bob Standard, who came in second tonight and won the silver medal. Bob, you and Casey, I actually shouted your name. Well, I said yours really low, and then I said, Casey. I did. You missed some true comedian stuff right there, but my power on my mic was off somehow. Sean Paul Doney, what's up? Welcome to the show. This sucks so much. This bell sucks. Oh my God. There it is. Hello! Remember, stars contributed to the show go directly to charities like Punks for Autism. We also worked with the Kind Fund last year, before last. We're still working with the Kind Fund, but we were working directly with them, and we ended up sending 28 children to school in Africa because, unlike us in America, we have to pay. We didn't have to pay when we went to kindergarten and junior high school and high school. That's just paid for by the state. Out there, it's not. They have to pay for every grade level they go to. And we've been doing this now for 3 years. So we've 28 children the one year, 12 the previous one, 28, 38, 39, 40, and then 12 the 40. We're going for, excuse me, my math, 62 between this year and next year. We should have funded 62 kids to school. So, quick pat on the back for that. Okay, let's get on with it. So, in the newsy news, we know now that our kicker and Max Crosby were chosen for the Pro Bowl. I thought that was pretty cool, especially Max, because it's just so obvious. It would have been ridiculous to, and then AJ Cole as well, who, in my opinion, is the best punter probably in football. Okay, so we're finishing out the week against, the Broncos, and I know that sucks because we all thought we could make it to these playoffs, but I would argue that we're on a good schedule right now. I think we have a good pace right now for the Broncos and for this game, and let's just end the season and finish this rebuild that we're having to work. Because remember, we had to get rid of all the Josh McDaniel nonsense and then get our other coach, our interim Antonio Pierce in, and then, is he really going to be able to keep the job? And, I said yes. When he blew out the Chargers, I said yes, but I also said he can lose the job because now that he has it, he still has all these other games in front of him, 2-3 games in front of him to, make or break a deal with Mark Davis. And there's just too many. If you said how many reasons you have to keep him as coach and how many reasons you have not to keep him as coach, you could almost make an argument that it's like 50-50 because Mark Davis has to think of his image, which is in tatters, and it would only get worse if after having to fire John Gruden, then you hired, dipshit and excuse my French, and McDaniels, and then now you're going to put in an interim coach as head coach that's only ever been a linebackers coach. You know what I mean? And I know we all believe in him because I'll be honest with you, I think Antonio Pierce won the locker room. I think his emotions changed this football team. In other words, I hate saying this, but Jim Harbaugh, who's been considered for the job, and from what I'm hearing, the ball's moving forward. But what did the article actually say? Because I know what article all of you woke up to this morning. Okay, it showed Tom Brady and Jim Harbaugh, and there's some sort of connection there. There's equal interest, is what I heard. The report said they had equal interest in one another. Well, I mean, that doesn't mean anything other than the reporters know that they have an equal interest in one another. I would argue that the Raiders have an equal interest in just about all the free agents in free agency right now, and whoever's coming out of college in the NCAAs. There's more than enough time for them to start working that out. They're not going to just suddenly tell the reporters what's going on with them. I don't even have any snitches talking about it to me. So as far as I know, they're probably going to keep AP, keep Champ, and as GM. And as far as the Jim Harbaugh thing, I think it's talk. I mean, you do your due diligence, you talk to someone, but I'm still going to make it clear. I want to be very clear on what I'm saying. If we get him, I don't like it. If we pass, I'd feel better. But if we do get him, I'm not going to suddenly turn into a rah-rah guy. When Josh McDaniels came on, I didn't turn into a rah-rah guy. I just basically said we should give him a chance. You know what I mean? And then we did, and then he stunk real bad, made stupid decisions, seemed to be doing things to almost to make us lose. So out you go. We bring in AP. He rides an emotional wave with the team. They get a couple wins in a row. We beat the Chiefs. I almost forgot. But no, I didn't forget the game. I forgot to do my shout. But that was huge. And so you get those two games. Now, in the next two, first he just lost. Now we're going to play a familiar quarterback in Jared Stidham, which people are making a deal about. That when I say to you, the press are full of garbage and they put all this clickbait out to get you to, what difference does it make if Jared Stidham plays? I mean, he's never been a starter. He's a backup. He's not even a starter now. He's a backup that he's replacing his new Derek Carr. And so that's all that's happening here. Yet we're getting articles about it. Like the Raiders are going, oh, I can't wait to get to that Stidham. He was such a lousy backup when he was here. I'm sure Max just wants to destroy him. No, they probably won't even hit him. You know what I mean? They'll grab him, knock him down, be nice to him. You know what I mean? Why not? He wasn't a jerk when he was there. I was about to get Rosetta Stone to read lips. Winner! That might be comment of the night. Now 11 minutes into the show. Nicely done, Michael. Sean Paul Doney, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Brent Knipe and the 707 in the house. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Ramiro Cashflow Castro. That's my guy right there. I thought it was funny as heck. Right on, Travis McNeil. Both are good. Cool. Salute the Red Bear family. Appreciate that, Raider Carlito. Much love to you, Cardinal. I know AOC had a rough year with the dysfunction. I'm tired of all the Fields rumors already. Do we draft a quarterback, or what veterans should we get to let AOC develop? I don't see AP getting the head coaching job, but being on the staff. And when will we get a proven head coach and have a good draft back to the commitment of excellence? Nathan Matthews. Great comment, Nathan. First, you put a lot in there. So if I'm really going to answer it, I should just go one by one. So let's just do that. I know AOC had a rough year with the dysfunction. Yes. And to be honest with you, there's no amount of gravity that I can put on to that comment that Raider Nation is going to accept. And there is some truth to that, because once you're given the starting job and they say, hey, go run the team, the excuses go out the window. You got to go produce, or we'll get someone else who can. Well, this is different. He's a rookie. He's a baby. He's a puppy. You know what I mean? If you had one of those snow, Alaska dog racing teams, you wouldn't put him up at the front. And yet that's what we've done. We put him up at the front in front of all the experienced dogs who want him to do the job now. You know what I mean? Now imagine that puppy up at the front. He's just going to wet himself, in a lot of instances. So one game he puts up 0 points. Next game he puts up 60 plus. It's a freak of things. And then when you have the coaching job change, I mean, the guy who gave him the job, the guy who, showed he had faith in him, was Josh McDaniels and his Dave Ziegler You know what I mean? And they were the ones that said, "Hey, we have this confidence in you. We think you can be the man," and then they get fired. So so now he's coming in behind the linebackers coach, so he has to feel weird about it too. Do we draft a quarterback? Okay. I'm tired of the Fields rumors already. Well, to be honest with you, the hot rumor right now is that the Bears are going to keep Fields and either draft defense or move down and give up their pick because they don't want the number one pick and the fees you have to pay for it headaches. And to be honest with you, that's been the how do I say this? The albatross. Ooh, look that one up, Tommy. This has been the albatross around the neck of players in the league now who used to all want to fight to be number one because you got the biggest contract. But now they know teams don't like that. They don't like having this prima donna come in making a gajillion dollars, more than almost everyone on his team in most instances. And then suddenly he's not good. Look at the Jets, mess. They're a mess. Look at the Jets and their little Power Ranger with the blonde hair. That everyone's lying on him. I'm telling the truth. Everyone's lying on me. I don't sleep with MILFs and I'm not cheating and I didn't suck my thumb. I didn't say I didn't want to go out there and play, but he did. I think we're going to bring in a veteran. I think we're going to look at AOC again, but we'll probably bring in a veteran. Let's see. Do we draft a quarterback or what veteran should we get to let AOC develop? I just think that we're going to go with a veteran quarterback. I really do. I don't see the point of, even if you had a shot at Caleb Williams, that's cool. But have we ever shown ourselves to be the team to groom a quarterback? You know what I mean? He would be coming into a team, if we keep AP, that's a defensive leaning head coach. That means he really doesn't have as much input into what our high, first round quarterback, Caleb Williams, that we draft. He's just going to hand him off to Bo Hardegree. Because if they're not going to fire AP, why would they fire Bo? He might look for, coach himself might go out and look for a new guy, to play the offensive coordinator. But, we don't know that for sure. So there's still a lot to be done before I can answer some of these questions. I don't see AP getting the job. I'm starting to wonder too, because the longer the season's over, the more people are going to wear thin on that, root for him and hope that Mark Davis does the right thing, because I don't think he will. I want him to. We all want AP to keep the job. But is that because you think he'll be a great coach or because you love the guy? See, I love the guy. I don't think he's a great coach. I think he's a good coach. But when a good coach gets you to love him, a player will say to you, I'd go through a wall for that man. Well, if you can get those guys to do that, you're winning games. Now, there's an old saying in football, if you get a great coach, you get 3 wins. In other words, there's 3 times where the coach himself can do something to change the flow of the game and cause a win where there might have been a loss. Either it's because of his play calling or trusting his defense in punting instead of going for it on 4th and 3 and stuff like that. And that's what Antonio Pierce feels like to me. He feels like a guy that inspires the players when you just don't have that much in football anymore. And wherever you do see that kind of coaching, that team's usually winning. Look at Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks. He has nothing but bums and he was still winning games. When will we get a proven head coach and have a good draft? Back to the commitment to excellence. I think that the head coaching thing may solve itself with AP. If it doesn't, then look for him to go after one of the other hot names like Jim Harbaugh. Mark Davis, he likes labels, you know what I mean? And Jim Harbaugh is a fancy label, but really what you're buying with him is a 4-year run of you might win or you might not, you know what I mean? Yes, Jim Vanderlyn. Yes, you did. We should have lost. We should have last to get a better draft picks. Okay, well, Nathan. To be honest with you, there is some talk out there that we may make moves to go up in the draft. But if you go up to do it and go for a quarterback, I think that would be a mistake. Now you've just put money into Caleb Williams. Excuse me. You just put money into AOC. And he's proven to be a pretty good quarterback. Is he perfect? No, he's a rookie. That's what he is. And Caleb Williams, when he comes up, he'll do the same thing. Just like Will Levis. Will Levis and the Titans, they wouldn't let Will play. Then they said, okay, you can have a game. And he threw 4 touchdowns or something like crazy number. And then they went back to Ryan Tannehill. Then they brought Will Levis back again. And then he looked bad. And so, it's his rookie season. I don't understand why these coaches are handling these guys like this. Like Mac Jones has a great rookie season, and then season number 2, they give him an offensive coordinator that his whole life's a defensive coordinator. Give me a break. I think it will be good if we just leave AP alone. But if Mark Davis, man, I've been reaching out to my people. I'm being honest with you guys. I have people in the Raiders organization that can hear things that are family members of people that matter within the organization. I'll just put it like that. And I still have some people in my Oakland Connect that still have calls in with the Raiders. But I can tell you that I haven't heard anything yet. Not anything affirmative. All I know is that the article that they just wrote about Mark Davis having interest in Jim Harbaugh, that's phony. That's phony. He's just trying to get himself out to the Raiders. You have to remember, they have press people too. You see what I'm saying? These coaches, and they're slowly putting out little tidbits about how, Jim Harbaugh, if he saw the right team, he'd be willing to go back to the NFL. Well, why are we speculating? Because he's paying someone to feed these reporters with this story. No different than if they fed it to me and said, Bear, tell the world about this. And then it turns out it's not true. They was just using me to get whatever he wanted out in front of the public more. You see what I mean? And I think that's what's going on here. Glenn Medina. What's up, Glenn? I wonder who our coach will be next year. Hope our defense stays playing well. Travis McNeil, I think it will stay playing well regardless, only because I don't think Antonio is going anywhere, regardless of whether he's made the head coach or not. I mean that seriously. I never understood the hype behind, well, if I don't get the head job here and I interviewed for the head job, I can't stay because that's like a demotion. No, it's not. I don't understand that. I didn't understand why Rich Bisaccia left. You know what I mean? He was just going to another team just to get the exact same job. To my knowledge, I don't think he even really made any more money. It was just a lateral move. Why leave the Raiders over, a little controversy? And it was controversy where the fans were trying to save his job. We're saying that, we love the guy. You're not going to run from that. It didn't make sense to me. I thought he was going to stay. So maybe AP will leave. I don't know. Edgar Lucky DeLeon, what do you think about on our quarterback? Should we trade up or go get Justin Fields? I think we should get Justin Fields, but the reason why I think we're not going to get Justin Fields is because now I think it was just a feeler that the press reported. And if there was a feeler, in other words, we reach out to them, they reach back to us, we talk, match numbers, and we can't get a deal. I mean, you can really do that in a day. You really can. It doesn't take long. The player will give a list of teams that he doesn't want to play for and a list of teams he does want to play for. And then if we're on that list of does want to play for and we call, they just say, okay, here's our numbers, blah, blah, blah. And we make it happen. It doesn't take more than a day or two. And yet the rumor about that happening happened days ago. That makes me think it ain't going to happen. Dorothy Bell, what's up, love? Welcome to the show. Troy Gill, I see you there. Well, John, Kansas City sucks, the town and the team. Hard. Mike Brown. Appreciate the love, Mike. Now, as far as like Kansas City, they're in trouble. I don't think they're going to win this next Super Bowl. I'm not going to say who is going to win because I'm not sure. But what I will say is that the way they used to rake on people with that offense of theirs, they can't do it anymore. And nobody's defense is good enough when they're on the field constantly. You gotta get off the field sometimes, and they struggle with that. So, having said that, someone's gonna get them. Mr. Raider Bear, I had to finish my schoolwork, and Mommy and Grampy waited to watch until I was done. Good job, Tommy. Did you know, Tommy, that this show was dedicated to you? Oh yeah, that's right. Look right down there in the corner of my shot. Take off the comment so you can see it. James Quan Woodley, what's up? Raiders for life. Yay. Nicholas Maida, wondering when we're going to look at your comments. I looked at it, Nicholas. James Walker, family in the house. Glenn Medina, 559 Fresno, Kakalaki in the house. Doc Raider gives me those greetings. What's up, Doc Raider? Okay, let's see. Jose Tariquez. What's up, Bear? Madden was the linebackers coach before becoming the head coach, and it was a success. AP is meant to be the next head coach. That's a great point to make, Jose. I should have remembered to bring that up, and I was not thinking of John Madden. But yes, you're absolutely correct. But more importantly, I was behind you when you thought of the idea of John Madden was a good idea and obviously panned out. And why did he pan out? Because the players sold out for him on the field. They sold out. They just gave everything they had. I think that that's how we're playing for AP right now. And I would just like to see that continue. You know what I mean? Because I think he inspires the team. I really do. Bobby Ware. What's up, Bobby? Welcome to the show. Always there for Raider Bear. The mic filter blocked up the lip and read. Oh, man. Bear, you think we're getting Wilson? Pete Almeida, honestly, that's not a terrible thing. That's a great profile picture, by the way. Because I've always thought Russell Wilson was a great quarterback. I just think he throws a gorgeous deep ball. He loves to throw that perfect rainbow. And it doesn't matter where you want it. He can drop it right in there. But now he's failing and flagging on a lot of other things, though. He doesn't feel pressure like a normal pocket quarterback does because he's run when he chose to his whole career. And now he's on a team that's asking him to stay tight in the pocket. And if you feel pressure, just roll away from it and then try to throw. And he struggles with that. He has to get out on the run kind of roll and then bring up his head and then see what's there and then throw it. And so that skill set, he's struggling with it. I know that for a fact. I know that's why Casey and Sean Casey, the coach of the Broncos, let him go because they just felt like he's never going to be a pure passer and he's only getting slower and older, so they let him go. So I guess Pete Almeida, the answer I'm saying is I don't know yet. I haven't gotten any feelers on that yet. I've only heard rumors like you. But I don't like to say, yes, I think that's going to happen unless I have something to sit on. And I really don't. I don't have any information about that other than the speculation that's been thrown around by the press. But had I gotten something that said Mark Davis reached out to Wilson's agent, then I would say to you, yeah, we've got a shot. It's real because Mark Davis made phone calls. You know what I mean? So stay tuned. Keep watching your Raider Bear because when I get it, I'll let you know. Samuel Guerrera, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Happy belated New Year to you and the family. Right on. Go Raiders. How are we looking for next season? Samuel, great job. Welcome to the show. And I appreciate the shout out and all. I would say to you, honestly, I think we're going to become a running team. I really do. Because even if either we get AP or we get Jim Harbaugh, let's say either one of those scenarios, not as, because I'm obviously it could be someone none of us have any idea who it is. But the reason I go against that logic is because Mark Davis just doesn't normally do that. He tries to hire guys that are names. His dad did that. They like the glamour shot of it. You know what I mean? If Tom Brady wanted to coach, he'd have the job already. Because Mark Davis would be slathering at the mouth at the idea of the guy with the most Super Bowl rings standing on his sidelines calling plays, win or lose. You know what I mean? Because that's tickets also. That's fans, butts, and seats. Because everything that guy does, whether it's by cheating or fair, he wins. He just does. You can't argue that. He's got the rings to prove it. John LaJoy said, Justin Fields is someone I could see in a Raider uniform. The fact that he uses his legs the way he does is kind of still, it's just holding on as the idea of what quarterbacks are supposed to be. You look at the kid Hurts with the Eagles, Tommy's favorite team. They have a running quarterback that can also hurt you with their arm. They're all looking for that. That's why Michael Vick is such a phenomenon because in most people's idea, he's the one that kind of brought the resurgence of the running quarterback being deadly with his legs and throwing with his arm. But I would argue you can go back as far as the 80s with Steve Young was doing that. And then you can go back even further than that. You know what I mean? George Blanda. He was just a bad dude that could either give you some quarterback play or play wide receiver or whatever the case may be and run through people. Bob Standard, the Joe Flacco thing is super interesting. I got to be honest with you. I realize you can look at his numbers and, just recently they're great and then behind it, they're not. But I like Joe Flacco. I've always liked Joe Flacco for the same reason I mentioned with Russell Wilson. Experienced guy. And if you want him to put that teardrop, 60-yard pass on. He can do it. He's throwing the ball like he's a kid. And what people don't understand is not only was he a starter, not only was he a Super Bowl champion, but he was a starting Super Bowl champion that was pretty darn good. Then he got some injuries. He got shifted around to a couple different teams, kept ending up as the number 2 there. But really now his body's rested and is slow. I'm sure some of you have seen Joe Flacco play. You know he's slow. But regardless of that, he delivers the ball. He just does, man. That guy, the ball's coming out. 3 seconds, 4 seconds, ball's coming out. Now, you usually can't sack a guy like that if he can keep doing that consistently. And Joe Flacco's been doing it for years. You know what I mean? So he's like a little gold mine sitting there. If someone was smart, some team like the Falcons, I would dress up my offensive line real nice, go get Joe Flacco and just try to make a run with him for 2 years. You know what I mean? Just 2 seasons. I got max protection. Just go out there and just let it rip. You know what I mean? What could it hurt? I mean, the Atlanta Falcons are in the toilet. You know what I mean? I would sign that guy and see if I can run with him. AP, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Pete Almeida said rumors were getting coach from Michigan. Yeah, I'm not onto the whole Jim Harbaugh thing. I've said it before. I'll just say briefly, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not because he can't coach. It's not because he can't win. But I feel like he's proven that for whatever reason, he's like Shanahan. He gets to the games that matter, and sometimes he wins, but most of the time he loses. Let GM Champ Cook let him make all the decisions at the end of the year. Matt Marinovich, I'm hoping we see that. I really do. I hope we see that. But oftentimes, when someone is appointed to be the head coach, the GM and the head coach get along so well because the head coach is grooming him because he's going to be the final say on things. The general manager's job is to find and bring in talent. So if he brings in a wide receiver and he finds one in free agency, as long as the coach isn't losing a player and they're just getting that guy, or we signed him off the free agent market, then, the coach don't care. But it's draft picks. Coach wants those to all be him. Everything the coach is cooking in the kitchen, he's going to get out of the grocery store, not somebody else. You see what I'm saying? If you feel like cooking your favorite dish, then you go to the store and get the ingredients. Don't ask someone else to try and do it because they'll get this wrong or that wrong. You know what I mean? You can't go back to the store. You got to cook whatever they bring you. Well, that's what it is with coach. Bob Stannard. I love that profile picture. You guys look great. Bear, did you see Adam's comments on that he wants to keep Antonio Pierce because locker room has his respect? Bob, I did see that. It was on video. And Devontae Adams, though, has said a lot, guys. And usually when a guy talks that much, they're not happy. You know what I mean? Regardless of him, he puts caveats on everything. Every time he says, I'm friggin' mad, the next day he finds out that the fans are tripping because he's mad. And then he goes, well, I'm not that mad, guys. Come on. We're just talking and stuff. He tries to backpedal on almost everything he says that has impact with the fans. And so it worries me. I think he's a good guy. I'm not trying to say he's not a good guy. I'm just trying to say, I don't like how much commotion he causes. You know what I mean? He just talks too much to the press, because if he wasn't talking to the press, in other words, stop giving them hot material, just say, hey, we're going to get better. We're going to work day by day. And then shut up. Next question. What do you guys think you should do with AOC, or should you look at another guy in the NCAA draft or the NFL draft, really? Antonio Brown. That was terrible. Devontae Adams answers like this. Well, that's the job of the GM and the front office staff and the coaching staff. So, I'm going to leave that up to them, but I'm sure the Raiders are going to look for us, someone that's going to fit our system. See, I could do it all day. You could ask me anything and I could just shine you on. What do you think about the young quarterback? Well, we really can't go on everything that would happen this year because, he's a young quarterback. We're going to see mistakes. And other times we're going to see greatness because he's worked so hard. But can we erase more of his mistakes and cause more of his greatness? Stay tuned. Next question. Oh, here we go. That's one of the reasons I don't want Caleb Williams. He's such a prima donna that he's already said he wants a small ownership stake in whatever team drafts him. Who does he think he is? Jim Vanderland. Okay, now you're probably the best person that could have asked me this because you're in that generation a little bit, further down the road that knows what, guys were getting paid in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And that, those guys weren't making that kind of money and they were never part owners and all this other stuff. But what they're trying to do, some of these major athletes, because the game's value has increased so much, and you're talking about billions of dollars every year going into the NFL, the players are learning that they have leverage and power, and they can negotiate that in with some of the owners to be a partial owner, like you see Tom Brady, just did with us. Which I still think the deal's not done yet, but for whatever reason. But you notice he did it with us. And you're seeing a lot of former players doing that. They're kind of adopting that from basketball players. They're seeing that true wealth, not being rich, but true wealth. See, I'm rich. You see what I'm saying? I'm a rich guy. I have a lot of things. I have a great wife and a beautiful daughter and great dogs and great friends and all that stuff. But when you're wealthy, that's when you have that elite money, you know what I mean? Where you can go where you want and do what you like. And Caleb Williams is going to be in that category, and he's going to want, a little bit more control of what's said and what's done on that team. And I hate to say this, but it's the future. This is the future, Jim. The future is coming at us, and next year there's going to be a guy who wants to do that, and the year after that there's going to be a guy that had to do that. Remember how crazy everyone went just when Michael Crabtree held out on the Niners and said he's at least $10 million worth, at least $10 million more than the number 4 position. What the hell's going on? You know what I mean? And he just threw up this whole stink and then got more money. James Quan Woodley said, I think we should go with Flacco or Russell Wilson. Yeah, I could understand that. I really could, because if you have one of them ahead of AOC, you let them play. And if they play well, great. But if they don't, none of us feel bad about falling back on AOC. And he's going to learn something every game he's out there watching the veteran play in the exact same offense he's learning. So it would be a win-win situation if we get a good veteran in. Glenn Medina, most of the offensive coordinators that are really hot right now, they're where they want to be. Some of them want head coaching jobs somewhere else, but we're not offering that. Now, as far as picking one of them to be our next head coach, I would jump on the Lions offensive coordinator now. I would go to the Colts offensive coordinator now. Those guys, they know a lot of football. They're doing innovative stuff. I always keep forgetting the guy with the Miami Dolphins, but he's having the same problem. He needs to get away from the Niners mystique, because it's wrapped around the Dolphins, and everyone thinks that they just brought the Niners offense with them to Miami. And that's partially true, but they also brought, a cheetah. That dude's no joke, man. And you're seeing why the cheetah is doing things over here. But as far as his former team, they're missing that guy hard. They can say what they want, but they're missing that guy. Russell Wilson possibly coming to the Raiders. Pete Almeida. It's possible. I know there's interest, but the interest is just from him to the Raiders. Now, whether the Raiders would react to that or not, I don't know. John LaJoy said, Russell Wilson, no dudes. I heard Jim's going to the Chargers. Okay. Pete Almeida, Raiders Nation in LA. Nice. What we got here? Raymond Perez Sr. with the money spent on McDaniels and on Gruden, can we really afford a big name coach? Well, Raymond, that's a great question. What we would do is we would defer a lot of what he's paid, and the coach will accept that, because no one wants to lose the opportunity to be the head coach of the Raiders over a formality like that, because you're getting the money regardless. So in other words, Raymond, if I'm the owner and you're my coach, I would say to you, we're going to take your 4-year deal and we're going to make it an 8-year deal. And all that means is it allows me to extend that out so far that those extra years bring down what I have to pay you monthly significantly. You know what I mean? Like $3-4 million per year I save if you just let me defer. And in other words, you're getting all the same money. You're just getting it in different amounts that are much lower. So say, for example, you were supposed to get 150 grand a month. Now you're going to get 850, or 800,000. So you play that with a coach, you're probably going to win that coach. Corinna True. Hello. Appreciate the love on the stars, girl. Leave Pierce alone. Yeah, Nicholas, I can't. I echo that. Tony Make a Dip said Harbaugh would be a bust. That's kind of what I was trying to say, Tony. But I don't want to be disrespectful, because I think the guy does know a lot of football. I think he's a good coach. But for whatever reason, he wears on people. And when I don't know how many of you have worked at a place where you hated the boss. but it sucks. And you think about it all the time. Be honest, and your productivity, the amount of work you get done on a day-to-day basis goes way down when you think your boss is poop. You know what I mean? That's right. I said poop. I didn't go to the big S word. Okay, Tommy's watching me now. It's the little Tommy show tonight. Okay, who is your new coach and why Justin Fields, Bear? Glenn Medina, appreciate the love. Love your profile picture. Let me see. Okay, if I had my say on who the new coach would be, I would stick with the trend. I would go with an offensive coordinator. I would. I like AP. I would even ask him to stay. But at the same time, I feel like if you do it with an offensive coordinator and let him bring something in really exotic that's got a lot of movement in it, with the fact that we have the best wide receiver in football, arguably the best wide receiver in football, arguably the best running back in football, okay? A great young tight end who's going to come back like a monster next year, okay? And great running backs in that are backups that can do little satellite grabs where you just give them the little screens, and they're gone. There's so much talent on this team that if you bring in an offensive coordinator and he really brings in his system and lets it rip, I think we would crush people. I think we would crush people. That's what Antonio needs. He already inspires the players. He can already put his insight in on the defense and how he wants it to play. But let an offensive coordinator come in here and really do it. The whole thing with Bo Hardegree, it's not that I don't like the guy, but he's hit or miss. You know what I mean? Totally hit or miss. I don't know any offensive coordinator that put up a donut in the NFL. You know what I mean? A donut. I've seen a lot of teams lose. I've seen a lot of teams struggle to get points on the board, but a donut for 4 quarters, you couldn't get a field goal, nothing. You know, I realized the Vikings were virtually as bad, but they scored. You know, we were in the battle of bad teams that night, and we lost. I did not like that. And so, see, to me, Bo Hardegree was fired right there. I like the kid. I don't want to say that because I do. I like the kid. I think he seems like a smart guy. Should be able to do, better next year, but we'll see. Usually if you get a new coach, you get a new offensive coordinator. Now, as far as Justin Fields, Glenn, I don't know if you've actually looked up how he's playing this year. Don't let the image of Justin Fields that you have in your head be the only thing you're going on. Now, I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm just saying I do have a lot of viewers and friends on the street and people I talk to that are asking me about Justin Fields because it's such a hot, rumor. I love the idea because the touch he has on the ball, the deep ball that he can throw, and the fact that when the offensive line can't hold, he can take 2 steps and he's running a 40 in 4 flat. I mean, the guy is freaking incredibly athletic, and he would virtually be the fastest guy on your field almost every game. You see what I'm saying? So as far as I'm concerned, that's a great get. And he's still young, you know what I mean? But experienced now. I would give that a chance. Armando Pimentel says, Bear, what do you think about X from the Chokers? He had a great scouting crew. Armando Pimentel, I don't mind that, but at the same time, I don't know that Mark Davis will hire that. It seems like he's looking for a name. It seems like the Raiders and Davis, father like son, they look for who won the Heisman, who's in the league right now that won the Heisman the last couple of years, whoever that is. I'll go get him. Glenn Medina said, what should we do first with the new coach? Well, the first thing you got to do is you got to sit down and find out what is his philosophy on the draft, because we need to know how he thinks on that. In other words, does he draft for a position of need, or for example, we need a linebacker, right? Okay, we could use another offensive lineman, that can play a little bit, right? Or does he think get the best player that's available at your pick? Now, an argument for both. If you go with, I'm going to hire a guy that fits, I'm going to bring a guy in that fits right where he should be in the draft. So if this guy is number 16 and at 16 I'm picking, well, then if he's the 16th best player and everyone after him is falling down, I'm taking that guy, because now I can trade him or use him as trade bait, my 16th ranked first round player that everybody wanted, the wide receiver. The Titans need a wide receiver, the Falcons, Washington needs a wide receiver. So, hey, dangle that out in front, get a bunch of stuff in that very same draft, and then bring in more guys. Now, I like doing it that way. I like doing it that way. I feel like if you drop down, sell, and then buy late with lots of players. Remember, Max Crosby was a 4th round pick. What's he doing now? You know what I mean? Balling is off. I always forget his name, but it's the guy with the Detroit Lions. He has a real like basic name, and I just tend to forget it. Rosanna Pucci, I'm glad to see you're doing well. Doc Raider, I made it. It made sense for Rich Bisaccia to leave. The players loved him, but staying after not getting the head coaching job could have caused dissension in the locker room. Doc Raider, I can't deny your comment. I just don't agree with it. Because what you said makes total sense. But I would. What you said made total sense. I don't want to go on and all that because my argument would sound terrible. I saw that, Mr. R8RBEAR. That's so cool. Thank you. You're welcome, little buddy. Bear, what do you think about ex-GM from the choker? Yeah, I already answered that. Matt Marinovich. Vegas odds are Chargers OC, Kellen Moore, or the next Raider head coach. How about a lateral move instead? Okay, first, Kellen Moore should not be a head coach. He left. He was with Dallas and never really got his team over the top. He threw a lot of different exotic offenses. He seems like a guy who can call a good script. But then when it's time to make adjustments, he's, that's why that guy, Hackett, that was with the Broncos or whatever, and then he got fired and he ends up with the Jets. Well, he was an offensive coordinator. He couldn't hack it is the joke because his name's Hackett. But no, Kellen Moore is just Hackett all over again. He'll get here, he'll do some stuff. It won't be enough, and he'll leave. Same thing with Jim Harbaugh. He'll come here, he'll do some stuff. He'll win a few games here and there, maybe make the playoffs, and we're 1-out. Who knows? But it's not going to be eventful for us to have him as our coach. I just don't see it ending in wins. George A. Zaragoza, nobody wants Carr back that makes any sense. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? You can't do that. I mean, you could, but you can't. I mean, Derek Carr is gone because of the owners, because of the owner, guys. It wasn't the coaching staff. Derek Carr's clause where he had 1 year where they could remove him from the team if things didn't work out, that was added by Mark Davis. He was sick of looking at almost said Tom Brady. He was sick of looking at Derek Carr. You know what I mean? It wasn't the coaching staff and it wasn't the roster. You know what I mean? Although there were a few people that were starting to whisper that Derek Carr was kind of a prima donna, and now that's all you're hearing coming out of the Saints locker room. Is the guy's just a prima donna. He loves God. He's a good dad. He's a good guy. Everything about that's cool. But he tends to talk down to people, tends to say to you, you don't know how to run this route. Or when you ran it, you should sight adjust and give me a different throw because you're killing me out there. He says things to guys almost like they're dumb in that way. He's gotten into a few scraps with a couple different players on the team. If you had a crystal ball, when do you think we win the Super Bowl number 4? Just wondering, since I've been part of the nation since 75. Beautiful, Nicholas. I would say to you, this team with Max on it has a shot. I think Malcolm Kuntz coming off the side showed them something. I think that they, because of that, may look for someone in the draft that's a legit hardcore 6'6", chiseled out of stone defensive end, like the guy with Alabama. Let's see if I have his name here. I just was looking at it, actually. Yeah, here we go. Dallas Turner is who I was thinking of. The edge rusher from Alabama. I think he could do a lot of good for us. Steven Shaw! That's my guy right there. Appreciate you, Steven. Much love. Benny Arriaga, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Let's see. What pick would get it? Okay. What pick would get if, win, or lose this year's draft? I wouldn't draft a quarterback. You already drafted AOC. You drafted him in I think if I'm not mistaken, the 4th round. Okay, now, and whatever round it wasn't the 1st round. And I would say this: if you let Max Crosby develop and he turns into what he turned into, what's going to happen if AOC turns into what he looks like he could be? See, to me, AOC looks like a pocket assassin. The guy can hit every route. He can throw every ball, but he was asked to do it under the stress of the hardest level of football he's ever played in his life as a rookie. After he saw his coach get fired, his offense changed somewhat. Some of the cadence and the the order they're going in, things like that, the player personnel. He was getting all these things, and yet he still had the composure to call out the protections on the offensive line, worked with the center to call out the blocks. The kid's smart. He's really, really smart. He just has to let his body and his mind come to the same speed, and then it's going to happen. I think AOC is going to be real good. I really do. And I think that if you brought in a Russell Wilson, it's almost perfect because it does what Jimmy Garoppolo's did. He'll play Russell Wilson. They'll play him, and he'll make it to week 6, week 8, something like that. We'll have a losing record, and then they'll bring in AOC again, and he's going to run the table and become the genuine starter, and they'll let Russell Wilson or whoever else we bring in, veteran quarterback wise, go, unless it's just Justin Fields because he's so young. But see, that to me is also a mistake because you're killing AOC's career. If you bring in Justin Fields, it's over. You can't ever go back to AOC because there's no one going to think that you should. They're going to all want him to be the dynamic starter. Justin Fields, who you wouldn't got in free agency and so on and so forth. But Nicholas made it. If we win a Super Bowl, there's just so many things that have to come together right. You know what I mean? That's why there's only one every year, and you never know who it's going to be. And this year it's going to be a weird one. That's why I'm kind of bummed that we didn't make the playoffs, because had we made the playoffs, all bets were off. We're playing with house money. No one expected us to be there. We're only going to get applause for making it that far in a year where we lost a head coach and a GM and there was scandal. And, if we had made it, we would have been celebrated just for that. Now, if we had made it, I'm saying we would have been the wild card. We would have been the wild card nobody wanted to play. Because if there's anything I've seen Max Crosby and AP do, is they can get those guys in that locker room hype. And if you do that and you know that there's a ring on the line and you've only got to win 3 games, I'm coming with it. Even injured, tape it up. Let's go. I'm going to say Nicholas Meda within the next, I want to say 3 years, because I feel like whoever the new coach is that comes in, he'll have to turn over some of the roster the way he wants it. Then he has to consider how he wants to play his defense and get his coordinators together, and then move forward and then start winning. So I'm saying 2 to 4 years from now, somewhere in that range, because I think Max will still be with us. I think the defense will be better, and then we'll go out and get it. Flacco kind of reminds me of Rich Gannon. Yeah, just slower, which is hard to believe. Yeah, I think Flacco would be good too. Edgar Lucky De Leon, great knowledge, Joseph Bear. Love all the great input. Best Raider show ever, brother. I appreciate you, brother. Steven Shaw. I don't know why I went baritone there. I just wanted to. Steven Shaw. Bill Cox. Hey, brother. I'm glad you made the show. Let's see. If the Patriots make me dummy, they're if the Patriots make dummy their head coach, do we still have to pay him? No, I don't think so. Bear, we have to get Penix, our quarterback. He can see in a rush and can move and throw. Penix would be nice, but again, if you go young quarterback, I feel like that's backpedaling. You don't go into a draft and draft that high for AOC if you don't think he might have it. I think the team thinks he has it. You know what I mean? I really do. And people, we got to remember Mark Davis was in that war room, a part of that pick. So he's got the confidence of the staff. That's what I'm trying to say. And so regardless of how the season turned out, if you have, let me see, if you have the confidence of the staff and you're a rookie, they're probably not going to want to bring someone in ahead of you. What's going on there? I've also heard the Murray's name being mentioned. Just want your thoughts about it. Murray. I'm struggling with who Murray is. Mark DeMonico. Did you say it again? Mark DeMonico, send me your question again. To double up on what Jim said, if I was an owner, I'd be damned if I'm going to give an unproven draft pick a piece of my team. Now, if he proves himself and is committed to my team for his career, I might, and I repeat, might consider it. Yeah. What about Kirk Cousins? He will be a free agent. Bill Cox, I, I kind of feel like Kirk Cousins is fool's gold. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's not a starter. I'm just saying he's a guy that there's just some times where he has limitations that he can't throw a ball deep enough or can't throw across his body, can't run quite fast enough to get, this or that. I don't know what it is, but there just always seems to be something that gets in the way of winning with him. I'm not going to say it's anything like jinxed. I just think it's his level of play. I don't love it. Mama Bear decided to chime in. We don't want a stinking old car. Easy, Mama Bear. Lucky, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Leave AP on a 3-year guaranteed deal and talk Eric Bieniemy into making a lateral OC move. Lucky, I like the idea, but I don't think that Eric Bieniemy is going to do that. I think he's more interested in potentially becoming the head coach in Washington when the opportunities for that come up again. But if it's after that and he doesn't win the job, we'll have moved on. But he'll do the same. He'll move on. Yeah, Mark Barris, I remember, 4th round pick. I appreciate you confirming that. But that was my point. We would have invested in a 4th round pick to a quarterback and then not, see him through it. I don't understand that. Because every owner wants a quarterback on a cheap deal, and you still got him on 3 more years of really inexpensive quarterback play. So Mauricio Cortez, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Keep AOC as the starter, but get better offensive play calling. Mauricio Cortez, I do like that. I do. And I like AOC being the starter. I like the idea of getting him a better play caller. But can they? That's the tough question. And if they do, is he going to improve? We just don't know yet. There are a lot of guys that come in from the college ranks and they could really play when they're in college, and then they get up here with the big boys and it's just too much for him. Yeah, Mauricio, he does fumble a lot, but I want to say something. I just can't get it out. I just want to say that you got to give him a true chance. To me, you got to give him a true chance. AOC on offense, when it comes to the draft, I would stand pat on the skill positions, backs, receivers, quarterbacks, and beef up the offensive line. See, I have it the other way around. Get the best offensive linemen, guards. Get the best. We already have enough players. We already have enough talent. We really do. I would argue that AOC is just going to slowly get better, and he's going to catch up to Adams and the other guys. Don't forget, if you look way back to when we first signed Adams, right after his first season, and they got rid of Derek Carr, he said, and I quote, "I don't want to be here a part of some rookie quarterback program that they're trying to build. I'm not interested in that." That was Davante Adams. So in other words, it's not that he scared us with the fact that, hey, I don't want to play with a young quarterback. I'm out of here. That scared us when we just heard, young quarterback, and I'm out of here. I don't want anything to do with that. But what we don't realize is that he gave away some things and we didn't understand. See, the franchise told him in private, we're going to have Jimmy Garoppolo and these other guys, but we're going after this kid, and the kid's going to be the leader of the franchise. And that's when Davante said, pretty bluntly, kind of in code, I don't want to be a part of a starting regime where the starting quarterback's learning on the job. Not interested. You know what I mean? Because he's great. Greatness is Davante Adams. He wants greatness. Or what are we doing it for? Raider Travis, what's up? AOC has potential. I'd love to see him after working with Adams in the offseason. Yeah, just give him some time. Raider Travis, I agree. That's a good comment. Yeah, I agree, Glenn. And I was just saying it, so I'm not cheating. I got it from, my mama. No, Glenn, Jameis Winston's not a starter. He's not for the Saints, so he shouldn't be for us. He can throw an incredible deep ball. He can throw some incredible mid-range balls, and then 2 of them are interceptions, like every game. And he likes to eat W's, which is maybe the most embarrassing thing a quarterback that was brought into the NFL has ever said, ever, live on camera. How many of you guys want to go out there and eat a dub? Let's go out there and eat a W. We're not taking no L's. We're going to eat a W. I don't know how many of you are laughing right now, but you should be because that's a true story, man. Come on, guys. Come on. Are you ready? I don't want to. I want to make them eat an L, and we're gonna eat some dubs. We're gonna eat some W's. We get some wins. That was so insane. James Quan Moodley just gave me the. That's funny, Bear. James Quan Woodley said Kirk Cousins is like Derek Carr. Yeah, I agree. Is JJ staying or leaving? That depends on who the head coach is and if he wants to pay Josh Jacobs. I don't know that someone wants to do that. Now, there's other teams that would be glad to pay it. Yeah, I mean. Blaine Bowser, Trebowser. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. I think it's possible because of what you can do with a trade with like him, because then you go into the first round with 2 1s. And if you package those 2 1s, you get Caleb Williams like that. And the hot rumor this morning is that the Bears are going to keep Justin Fields. They feel like they might make a mistake by letting him go because they see the same thing I saw. The guy progressed. He got better. He does fumble, but he brings you that Michael Vick factor where he explodes with his arm or explodes with his legs, and suddenly incredible plays happen. Now, can he do that, but do it within the flow of the game? Don't try to make it happen. Be there for the moment and then do it when it's supposed to happen. Do you see what I mean? And once he gets down that method of controlling the game and the clock, he's going to be amazing. And so I think that personally we should go after him if they're still trying to get rid of him. The Kyler Murray thing, Kyler Murray from Arizona. What are your thoughts about him? I heard his name being mentioned about being a trade. Yeah, because that would be a great veteran answer. Just like people are saying, pick Joe Flacco, give him a few years, maybe a 3-year deal. Then we put an extension on if he plays well. Now, Kyler Murray to me is a risk, but I would take that risk. That one I would take. He's, again, another physical specimen. We got to get over the fact that he's short, because even I was calling him, little Smurfy Smurf with his afro, running around. He's Afro Smurf. But actually, I like his hair. He looks pretty good. But to tell you the truth, I don't like little big men in big men sports. I don't care what position he was playing. I don't care what position you put him at. I don't like the skill set of little guys against big guys. I don't like that. Alexa, play Hide by NASA.
Here's Hide.
There's my girl.
By NASA.
Bear, what's your best? I love this show and just look forward to it. It makes my nights and cold winters go faster until spring gets here. Bill, I love you right back, brother. It's comments like that make me keep going. Yes! And don't forget to subscribe to R8RBEAR Live. R8RBEAR! Alexa, lower volume by 6. Okay, what'd you have to say?
You gotta answer my question.
Which one?
Before you end the show.
All right, what was the question? What 2 teams do you think will be in the Super Bowl? Unfortunately, I think the Niners will make it. And
that's who Jim Vanderlyn said, the Niners. And
yeah, maybe Dallas.
The Niners and Dallas?
Yeah.
You don't think the Eagles?
The Eagles are flagging fast. They're going the wrong direction. I think there's a good chance because they got there last year, but other than that, they seem like they're in trouble.
He picked the Ravens and the Niners.
Oh, yeah. No, that's even better. I'm going with Ravens Niners. I like that one because I already had the Niners in my mind, but yeah, the Ravens are better. Ravens Niners. I think that Lamar, I think he's going to win it this year. I don't care who it is. I like Lamar Jackson. I just think that he is what Justin Fields could be. If you get a guy who's got the legs, that Michael Vick lightning, but get him to tone it down and use the lightning when it's necessary, not just all the time on every play. You know what I mean? Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. For all you do, the energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice, active and veteran. Much love. I'll be on again at 8 and at 4 o'clock for supporters only tomorrow. Or will it be 5? Should I go with 5? Because you're going to be on the phone still, right?
5 our time?
Yeah.
I get off at 5 our time.
I was saying 4, though.
4,
You can?
I'll still be on working until 5.
Right. But do you get calls in there, though? In that window? No? All right. We're going to do it at 4. Mama Bear's going to get 10 phone calls, karma. And then, and then I'm going to take all of you in my show outside or in the other room. I don't know. All right. Much love. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bear to Bear family page. Peace.